State Department of Ed, school sponsors investigating new Epic allegations. So even pre-pandemic, Epic is the largest school district in the state at this point, but it's also one of the largest online charter schools in the country. Since its inception, it has been investigated over and over and over for malfeasance, for questionable accounting practices, for poor student outcomes, for a lot of stuff. The owners of it have played massively in political races. They've donated to all sorts of candidates. They took out a state senator who was especially critical of them in a Republican primary. Anyway, they've done a lot of really bad shit. In my opinion, their two biggest sins are, one, their student outcomes are horrific. Their graduation rate is among the lowest in the state. They cycle through kids at like this astronomical rate. Just they have no control over their products, like just none. It's just like kids are profit units, like get them in, kick them out, whatever happens, like it's not our fault, just that sort of mentality. So I think that's really bad. And then two is the owners have made millions of dollars because having run in school board races and done a lot of education policy work in the past, people get so freaking mad about how superintendents make six figures. And in some towns in the city, they're some of the highest paid people in this town, and we have all these school districts, and so people get mad about how much superintendents make and how top heavy we are administration wise. And then these jokers go build an online school district with no accountability and make like the two of them are multi-millionaires at this point. Have a for-profit charter company that is like a black box. We have no clue how much money it's gotten overall. No clue how much it's spending on reinvesting in kids or managing this charter school. I mean, it is the craziest setup for-profit education and zero accountability and just profiteering. And if voters knew it, I mean, they would be like, if you're mad about a superintendent making $100,000 a year, like, let me tell you what the idiots at Epic are making. And they've hired like PR people and lawyers to like protect them and run interference. I mean, it's a whole thing. So anyway, yet another article has come out this week about, school board members are resigning and believes they've been giving misled information. And what frustrates me is I used to monitor the virtual charter board, and that's like the board that statutorily is supposed to like regulate these guys and like ask the tough questions and enforce the few rules that we put on these clowns. And it's like, might be a little better now, but like at the time I was monitoring it was literally the most incompetent group of human beings I've ever met in my life. Like no idea what they were doing. Few of them had any education experience. Like just Epic would say stuff that was demonstratively false, and they wouldn't ask a single follow-up question. I mean, it's like if I were on the board of that nonprofit, or if I was on the board, like I'd be lawyering up because like I would be terrified we're about to get sued out of existence. Like can't account for anything, anyway, just crazy shit. So now they're starting to even ask questions, and the Epic board members are starting to feel the pressure and all this stuff. But anyway, it's such a sordid tale. Joy Hoffmeister's finally going hard, even though OSDE had considerable power for years that they could have probably used to stop these guys. Anyway, it's the most painful, like, accountability process I've ever seen. And, like, frankly, the Epic guys, like, probably if we knew everything that was going down, probably would go to jail. Like, I mean, they have probably done stuff that is completely illegal. The state auditor has suggested as much from an accounting side, but they're always able to just stay like one step ahead of it. They pay people a lot, to carry water for them. Anyway, but now the Epic guys have like distanced themselves. Like I think they have the private company that manages it all in like a trust or something. And so it's like this weird deal of where they're not involved, but they definitely are still involved. And so, we're still fucking doing this. But what we're going to find in like 5 or 10 years is that Epic has let thousands of kids fall through the cracks. Because their argument will be is like, well, we're just taking the kids that public schools can't serve. Like we provide a alternative type of education that works better. But I think what we're going to find in evidence is that it doesn't work better. It works really good for certain families. I mean, not against virtual school. If you've got good supervision, parent involvement, access to computers and internet and all the things you need to be successful in virtual school, extracurriculars so you're not incredibly isolated and alone all the time. Great, let's do virtual school. But like, there are going to be thousands and thousands of kids that is not what their experience was anything like, and they basically just sat at home and learned nothing, and then eventually dropped out and are now years behind in their education. And that's a bad system. Like, we shouldn't have allowed that. And we knew and know it's happening, and we're going to reap what we've sown years down the road. Thanks for watching our video. Please give it a like and hit that subscribe button for more content. If you want to engage with us, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram.